Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Sergio Dominguez with another commentary for season 28 of The Sergio Show. So, I don't know if I said this before, but originally this season was going to be season 27, and season 28 was going to be the story arc of the time jugglers and stuff. But I ended up switching that in the last second so I can do the time theme season for season 27. So these episodes was going to ultimately be season 28. So after I did season 27, I took a month-long break. And after my month-long break, I want to start 2022 off right by working on season 28, 29, and 30 of The Sergio Show. So when I got to the episode list for season 28 of The Sergio Show, I realized I did not like a lot of the episodes that I have done here. I was like, oh no, some of these I really don't like. So a lot of these episodes were either scrapped or rescheduled, which I will discuss throughout the commentary. So this one, originally the episode was going to be me solving my musical talent, which if you've heard my musical work on the show and other works, I don't have any talent on music. But at least it's my own music that I've made, so there's that. But I scrapped the episode because I didn't like it. I couldn't think of anything funny. And since I moved around the season of the time theme season, I thought, okay, so what is my dog going to do while I leave for another theme season? And that's where this episode came about. A lot of it was improvised during animation. Like, okay, since he's going to time travel all these random places and he's a pug and he's my dog and the character how he is, I can do a lot of callbacks, him going random places, filling in some backstory, and yeah. So this ended up being a very simple episode to make, and I needed this season to be very easy and quick to make. Unfortunately, it took a little bit longer than I thought. I ended up finishing season 28 like mid to late March of 2022 when I started production in January 2022. I wanted to finish in February, but it lasted a little bit longer because the episodes I didn't like, I scrapped. So I had to re-record some of these episodes. A lot of the episodes were re-recorded in January. Well, a couple were recorded a couple years ago, but we'll get to that. So yeah, season 28 was a little bit of a mess. And I wanted to get through that mess as quickly as possible just because I have season 29, season 30, and possibly another cartoon in the works. But that's the interesting thing about this season. A little bit of an unfortunate mess. But it still came, just fine. But yeah. For this, I just did a quick recording of me doing this group of pugs of this thing. Because, like I said, everything was improvised. But when I got to this scene, I decided, let me do a couple lines for this. And that's it. I wanted the season to be very simple and easy to put together, even though I had to do a lot of things from scratch. But you know what? This is just fine. This whole season is just fine. I still think season 26 is better than this, but, we'll get to it. But maybe all this that's happening might serve a bigger purpose in the series. Who knows? Who knows indeed. That's all for this episode of The Sergio Show somehow. I am Sergio Dominguez, and also my dog Chunky right here, saying... Yeah, awkward silence. I'm just trying to take in this episode. And yeah, like I said, it was a big unfortunate mess this season. A lot of ideas I see on this list are just scratched out or rearranged, and I was like, ugh. Crazy season. Very crazy season to put together and try to execute. And like I said, I want to do this quick, so I did have to do a couple of cutbacks, but we'll get to it in the next episode, actually. So there we go. Alright, this episode. Well, originally this episode was going to be me trying to find a birthday card for my friend Juan. My good friend Juan. Finding a birthday card for him. But I ended up scrapping it. I couldn't think of anything funny. So I want to do a sequel episode to the whole cinematic experience thing where I go to a movie theater, but this time the movie theater comes to me. How about that? And me poking fun of the at-home theater experience and streaming services, and trying to just imply that to the show. At home, and there's no other unfortunate reason why that's that. Anyway, let's begin. Welcome to your new at-home rental cinematic experience, courtesy of the Toon City Movie Theater. I think this episode took a little bit longer than other episodes because I drew a lot on the chair, believe it or not, like a lot of detail on the chair. It doesn't look much, but remember I was taking too much time trying to figure out this chair and what's going to happen in this episode. But like I said, I recorded most of these episodes in January, and then there was a big frustration and slowdown in February, but I did, I think, 3 or 4 episodes in February, so 1 January, 4 February, and the rest in March. But yeah, this was slow. There were a lot of things going on in these couple episodes. And later on, like I said, there's cutbacks to this season, and you're going to see it later on. And that is, I cut back on the lip sync. All I did was let Toon Boom do the work, for the most part with the rest of the season. And I try to cut back on just lip syncing in general, like the season finale, but we'll get to it. Because I was like, this is taking too long. I don't want this to take too long. I'm going to have to cut some things back. So it was just me trying to get over this season already. Even though it's very early on in production, but it honestly didn't really hurt the show or cut anything back with this one. But, after the previous season and the month-long break and the things I'm going to do for season 29 and 30 and some other project, it ended up having to be worth it long term. But still very enjoyable season. Don't get me wrong. I hope you enjoy season 28 still. I think it's fun. Despite the corners I've been cutting like a mad person. Yeah. So again, this is poking fun of the at-home theater experience, which at this point we have really nice couches and TVs and home media and services. So how can we make that work here? And I have a couple of streaming services, so I want to give that a try and just try to both the paid ones and the free ones with ads, and just try to poke fun of it. Maybe my opinion here and there, but I love it. I like streaming services. I still prefer physical media, but if you can't get a movie or it's easier, then it is. Its existence is inevitable. Okay, well, your rental time is already over. We're leaving. I hope you enjoyed your cinematic experience at the at-home Toon City movie theater rental thingy. Yep. Have a good day. I wish I could have done a little bit more in the animation, but it still has a little bit of life to it, a little bit of weight. I'm trying to do a little bit more with this form of animation than just these poses. A little bit of subtlety and movement. So I hope I can still have the animation still be fun despite the form of animation I'm using and the time that I have. But when I get to it, I can get to it. And try to draw as much. I don't think I've drawn as much for this season, but it depends on the characters and the moments. And the Wacom Cintiq is really nice. So simple episode, simple season, but I still think it was fun. All right, 273. Originally, this episode was going to be me changing a flat cartoon tire. But, I couldn't think of anything funny. Then it was going to be episode 9 of the Evil Sergio saga, but that was rearranged to later in the season, which we will get to. So, next I changed was the dentist. Yeah, because I did doctor, I did gym, all these things in Toon City, but I never did dentist. Because I haven't done dentist in a long time, and at the time, I just experienced the dentist in a while, I got fillings, and whatever I said in the episode kind of happened to me. for the most part. Like I said, I try to draw many different things, like that tooth character. When you think of cartoon teeth, you think of a cartoon face out of tooth, but I just want to go a different direction with that. But this is also very simplified. Yeah, some drawings here. But it is like a little bit of a story time, I guess. But not 100% accurate. So yeah, I just improvised all these episodes, including this one, about my experience with the dentist. Before I did the recordings, I did like make an outline for each episode and just have the outlines with me while I try to improvise out these lines and moments. So that's why it's like that. Yeah, a lot of changed and scrapped ideas I'm seeing right here. But yeah, you can see me just like simplifying the lip sync for this one and afterwards. Yeah, I've called back to me in my teen years, and yeah, I did have a crossbite. But also notice while I was done with the season, it's been very consistent with run times, and obviously I'm gonna, you know what, I'll get to run times later in the season, but it's been consistent with 4 minutes or so, but 2 episodes aren't, but we'll get to those. Yeah, since this was going to rely more on visuals than me animating, I thought, yeah, let me just draw a little bit more. Sometimes just drawing static things and, and stuff. I like the tooth crossbite. That's so true. My mouth was like that. Sometimes it is easier just to make a bunch of like simplified drawings and not animate lip sync. And do some animation tricks on sheets. Yep. Hi, it's me, your dentist. And we're going to be here to do some fillings. Are you ready? As I'll ever be. Excuse me, that was my dog Chunky. He got a little bit excited. All in the magicalness of audio commentaries. Yeah, I really did want to animate this, so sorry about that. And yeah, and I just drank some water, so those were the noises that recently happened. Try to find the best way to record these commentaries without having it be too noisy, but this is the best I can do at this moment. I held this commentary off for a while after production wrapped for this season. Oh yeah, when I was done animating, I realized I needed noises of drills, so I got electric shavers and things that make buzzing sounds that are all just like shaving things, and just play them over each other to give it that drilling sound. And yeah, I want to do yet another dentist with a mask kind of thing, but and I just added utensils to the fingers. I thought that's a simple thing because I didn't want it to be human. I didn't want it to be more cartoon. That's why it has like a human-ish looking face, but gray, like alien-ish skin. But I drew that at random. Yeah, I've been getting fillings, and yeah. So, what are your experiences with a dentist down below in the comments section? It happens. Alright, this episode, okay. This one was going to be a Sergio animation story, which the previous episode was that, but again, I didn't know what story I wanted to say at the time, even though I ultimately did in the previous episode, which is all backwards and mixed around, but ultimately I got nothing, so I scratched that out. And I realized, oh, I have a Sergio Hippo episode. Let me do, I'm going to have 2 this season. So let me do one here and another one a couple episodes later. So that's what this episode ultimately is about. I thought, okay, what could it be? And I think when I had the episodes written, I was like, let me have the character deal with Stampede. Since it is animals and animal world, what can it uniquely happen? Stampede! But again, tight time, tight budget of nothing. So I was like, okay, let it just be a cartoon cloud with that boiling cycle and a couple of cartoon animal heads. There we go. Call it an animated day. Oh, man. But like I said, I did try to add some extra frames just to give it a little bit more life to lip sync. So there was some monitoring, but not a lot. I still want it to be entertaining and fun to look at, so. This was a fairly simple episode, but I'm kind of surprised all of these episodes finish at 4 minutes or so. I was just improvising. Like the way that character sits down, you know, I don't usually animate characters sitting down, but gotta add some weight. I try not to make it look floaty. And again, I try to add more drawings. So this one's funny. Some dynamic looking poses at least. Yeah.
What? Oh, I had this set a bunch of animals mushed together. Huh. And it didn't work. Okay, with this projection, I'm going to project a sign onto one of the buildings to help redirect the animals to
I drew that, a simplified projector.
Farther away.
Yeah, that bird flying was a previous animation. I just like retimed it. Some of these, if they were used animation, I tried to retime it and execute it differently as possible. Like this one episode coming up.
Flat out lassoed some of the animals away. Let's see if my one day of seeing that video of how to lasso animals can work.
This is the best joke in the episode. I've just been going, whoa. I think I forgot to add whooshy lines, but yeah.
I don't know how, but I just
It's cut a lot quicker because I wanted it to be cut quicker. But also, so you don't see the black frames. I talked about this in commentaries before, that these black frames would appear. But I figured out through the editing software that I have to cut each scene by a frame or more, front and back. So that was going on. That's why the editing feels a little bit more cut to. But I still think it works. It's just fine. If you think I need to improve my editing skills, let me know in the comments down below. Simple episode, but like I said, maybe the next episode will be more purposeful more purposeful to the plot. Whatever I'm saying. Alright, we're in the middle of the season. Originally, this was going to be a racing episode where the Sergio Show characters were going to go through a race across something, and whoever wins, wins. But I wasn't feeling it, and I didn't have any good ideas again. So I switched it to teaching my dog to animate. And I think this was an episode that I recorded back in May of 2020. When I had all these episodes lined up. So I think out of all the seasons, this is the one that got the most changes. So this was one that I kept recording from a while ago. Or maybe it was recording January. Darn it, I thought I knew. But there's some of these. If you heard my dog earlier, that's not how he really barks, but he gets there. He good boy. Oh, this shot is the first time I properly used the shadow effect in Toon Boom. Last time I did the shadow effect was maybe season 1, episode 10. But after that, I rarely use the shadow effect. But I was like, let me try the shadow effect here to add a little bit more dimension for this little moment. So it worked, actually. Yeah. Finally kind of figured it out. Don't know how to move it, but I know how to pose it properly to make it look like it pops from the background. I think I use that effect later on in the season.
Cartoons are awesome, and just keep practicing. That's the gist. That's the gist I'm giving to you, sweetheart. I know you're a young pup,
I don't know about you, but Chunky is a great character. And yeah, I had to retcon the name, but I think I already talked about that. But he's a good boy, and he has a big presence this season. A lot more than I thought. Yeah, the 1, 2, like 3, 4.
cartoon
Yeah,
is
4
animated
episodes.
along with being a dog.
But
So I
he
believe
good
in you.
boy.
If you mess up,
He
don't
best
worry.
boy.
No pressure. There's always next time, sweetheart. So you ready again? Yeah. All right.
I
Good
know.
luck,
I
sweetie.
give him his own shot where it's
That's
like
happening.
bark
Let's cut to a
because
montage
he
of
good
him
boy.
trying to animate.
He the best. He the best. There's a lot of use animated shots from that one episode where I teach the AARX how to animate, and the montage was too quick, but
Let's preview
I couldn't think of any
right
jokes. But I
now.
wanted to get this episode in the way, out of the way, all that stuff. I recorded my dog again, and I use this filter from a different editing software that gives it like a cartoon like filter, and I just put that in instead.
One or two keyframes that need to be polished, but other than that, wow, Frankie, that was so good for your first try.
Look at all those
You're
animation
proud of
cheats.
yourself. How does that make you feel? Well, to be honest, well, my first work is certainly not the best, but it will certainly increase.
I feel like I should have drawn different mouths, but I still enjoy the way I draw the chunky mouth now, and I like recycling it. I might have to give it a little bit of variety later on, but not this season. Not at all. I was like, let's get through this. Yeah.
How to draw and animate despite being a cute little puppy wuppy. And I hope you learned something about teaching your dogs how to animate. Anyway,
I think here onward, I really put production for the show on hyperdrive, or fast forward, or speed. Yeah, just speed this up because I had so many episodes to go through, and I don't want it to. I need to finish it as soon as possible, so I was powering through. And I think there was a good 10 days of me just finishing the season, like fume. And I think this was the episode, or the next episode. This was yeah, I think 277 and afterwards. Yeah, 277. Because this one and 276 we're getting up there, but then I was like, okay, let me just blast through the rest. As it was my opportunity. Alright, originally this was gonna be a poorly drawn episode. But yeah, again, I don't know what to think of. And I realized one of my ideas is Sergio the hippo again, and this time it would be part of the plot. So that's what this episode ended up being. And I improvised it, but I had an outline. Let me drink some water.
come back here and go to this specific spot. I don't know. Something's going on. I don't know what.
That zoom out was choppy. Could be because it's on twos, or I didn't do the key pose properly, or something to do with the easy ease or ease. But yeah, that sometimes happens. The camera was like chop, chop, chop.
This one looks all metallic.
Again, here we are with reusing the Robot Toon City thing.
It's no.
And me trying to use some cheats, zooming into the character while talking. Still give it a lot. I took the backgrounds from the original one. And also that shot of me stopping as a hippo, I was like, oh man, trying to retime it because it came off too awkward, believe it or not. So, like I said before, the alley was from the earlier episodes. I brought it in, recolored it to gradient and chrome. And a lot of these robots, I just drew them quick too. These officer robots. But yeah, it's nice to see a little bit of hint of what's gonna go on soon. So soon. I wish the robot dancing was better. But the joke was he's not fooling anybody.
After
Reusing animation here because I like the running cycles I did when he had tried to run away. So I was like, let me use. Apparently, I only use 2. Call back. You see that one robot to the right?
Hey, wait, what? Go now! Robot!
Nice hints of what's gonna come.
No, I know.
Do I know what's gonna happen? I don't know. We shall see.
Something's gonna go down, and we gotta get ready for it. I know. Just go. We'll see ya. All right, see ya. Whoa.
Yeah, I have fun with reusing shots, but it's creative, clever ways, hopefully. Let me know if I need to improve on my recycling skills and budget cuts on animation. Let me know.
I guess mine is the Sergio's got to get ready for it. And we probably will soon. But for now, this episode's over. Anyway, that's all for this crazy episode of the Hippo Sergio Show. Oh, I really gotta get myself ready for this. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure that your animal senses are in order. Anyway,
Again, I'm just looking at this because I don't know what more to say. And there will be one episode where I'm going to do a nice awkward pause. Very nice awkward pause. I want to have more to say, but I got what I wanted to say here on my list catalog and what I have in my head, but just trying to find other things. But yeah, like I said, very simple season, very simple.
Sergio Studios.
Oh boy, this one. All right, so this episode was originally going to be me having an anxiety over wearing a white shirt. I don't know where that idea came from, but sometimes I would wear white shirts and I would be like, oh my gosh. If I eat something that could stain my shirt, it would be so noticeable. So I had that, but when I got to the episode, again, couldn't think of anything funny for now. So I was like, let me think of bringing back something old from years ago. And I thought, oh, the timer. I still have like the new version of the timer when I had to re-edit the episodes. I thought, let me give this another try, but a little bit more modern and how I handle runtime for the show and something.
Let's see if these old animated bones can do this.
But yeah, this one took a while. This one took a couple of days to work on. But this was the episode, and afterwards where I was just like blasting through the season because I was like, oh, down to the home stretch. Let's go. I think I can clear up my schedule for this. Whoa. That's how this episode came about. Just reusing an old idea and just improvising what I can do and then just quitting. But yeah, it was a fun trick to do the animating spinning plates. I just drew a couple circles. The animation part was just a simple circle animating. It's spinning. Then we get another peg and then squash it and have it that look of a spinning plate. I was surprised how well that worked. And there were some ideas that I wanted to redo here, like me drawing something, but I can never fully understand or figure out kind of how to animate something drawing. I gotta check online to properly do that, but I've gotten away with a couple of things. But man, simplified with this one, a still thing, a cut to. But yeah, look at that timer. And callbacks like song parody. No. Like I said, I simplified the lip sync, but there will be moments where I put the closed teeth sound just in case to give it to not make it that lazy.
It's a good boy.
Yeah, a little bit of reuse animation and my dog child right there being a dog.
Oh, you're so good boy. Yeah.
You saw this arm pop go through. That's always been a problem with Toon Boom and me. That sometimes there would be like that frame pop when I'm holding something or trying to move something around. It would pop through the desk and maybe it would disappear to a different layer. It's such a weird technical thing. It's hard for me to describe sometimes, but some people might understand what I'm talking about.
What? That's right. The timer in the corner.
Yeah, but this episode was kind of obviously pretty long, even though I try to cut corners with this one too. Like this, just a static gradient, but it works. It works.
Enough to watch whatever time that is important to you. I mean, the format you're using is just whatever time that it is. It's not TV. It's not movies. It's your little show. So whether it's too short or too long, just remember it's hopefully entertaining enough. Huh, I guess you're right. I used to even care back when it was 5 or 3 minutes, but I guess time doesn't.
Yeah, my nice awkward pause. I'm trying to look at this episode. But again, a simpler episode. I thought, what if I make the clock talk? As ridiculous as it sounds, but at least I don't have to animate it talking. Just have it be stuck in the corner and just always be there in every shot. There was gonna be a zoom into it, but I'm like, no, just leave it there. Wink. Yeah, I'll deal with runtimes with episodes and certain other projects in the near future. Pray for me. Pray for me. Wish me luck. Ah. 5 minutes and 20 seconds. I was kind of surprised how long this episode was. I remember I tried to get a head start with the production for this episode by working on the weekend, which sometimes I do, but this is one where I was like, all right, it's Saturday. Let's see if I can work on this episode. And it worked. Got a nice head start. And that's when I was like, oh, you know what? I have time in the rest of the week. Let's work on the rest. Let's go! And there we go. Nice awkward pause. I don't know what else to say. I just left darkness when I was editing this episode, and I got to animating that part of the episode and realized, okay, let me keep the timer here. We're not going to have it end. Let's just be a nice long darkness. But I was like, I'm not sure. Let's do something. So I just took like an old clip. This clip from the Sergio Studios Extra channel, and just pop it in the middle of it or so. We'll get to it. Until then, a nice awkward pause. You know what? Let me talk a little bit about the timer actually, because the way I made that old version of the timer was like a long thing where I would play with the text. But later on, I found out there's a simpler way to make this timer, and I finally figured it out at one point. And that is because all I have to do is just repeat 10 seconds, and then with the numbers, I can just give it its own layer. So I found a way to simplify the timer effect, which you can also check out its own separate channel here, actually, in Sergio Studios Extra. I made a video of just that timer though, and just if you want to see how I animated 10 seconds of a clock counting down, there it is. I just took that, put in this episode. Hey, that's me. Hey, that's me again. With this painting effect. This animation painting effect. I think it's called Ensign for something. Just put that in. Just plop it in. And yeah, there you go. So how about that Sergio show? Do you think it should keep going or keep even more going? We'll see. We shall see. Let me have a drink of water. Remember I said earlier about episodes being a consistent runtime? Well, this is one of the ones that isn't so consistent. And then there's another episode that's actually too short. So this is one of the longer episodes of the season. Well, the longest episode of the season. And there's a short episode of the season coming up. But I'm kind of surprised how consistent it is. Like 4 minutes each. About that. I didn't expect it. A lot of them have been 3 minutes lately. So what do you think about my run times for these episodes? Let me know in the comments down below. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 0. We did it. We're on to the next episode. So originally this was going to be... Actually, this was going to be the timer episode again. But I rearranged it to earlier. Okay, so how about that? So I changed it to dog show. Yep, dog show. You know, again, my dog didn't get enough in the previous season, so he has a little bit of a presence here. So again, after the previous episode, I wanted to be a little bit quicker to the production. So when I got to the dog show one, I was just blasting through, and you can see I reused some things and simplified some things. And there are some, some elements from the fourth wall break episode of the show, but I just took out the numbers. Just have it be, you can see the host, all that stuff. So I wanted to reuse it. You know, obviously it's not dog themed. That dog was drawn on pencil and marker and scanned in like the owner. But the other one, that one I drew into from the tablet, the Cintiq. Yeah. Because the other one's like sloppy, this one's a little bit more fancier. Dog. And there you go. So yeah, this episode was quick. This one was like a day or so. Because again, I really cut back on the lip sync and assets, and the only thing I drew was a couple of things and a couple of reuse shots that I retimed. So a lot of tricks here, a lot of tricks this season. And also some easy shots, like I just put text on the screen, couple things. This one, I simplified too much. I just put mouth animation over that, a mouth element layer, and just put that in.
Contested dog 3, speak. Look, I've been looking at the news, and the only way we're going to solve this economy is by saving and proper investing. All right.
Round 3,
Last
talent.
round, the talent portion. Dog 1. Ah, yes. Good. Dog 2.
Oh yeah, the reuse plate spinning animation for the previous season.
Yes.
By season, I mean episode. It's been a long night. It's been a long night. I was like, let me bring those spinning plates to here. Oh. Also, this was the episode that I recorded back in May of 2020. Yeah, this one, Or was it?
Yes, we did it, Frank.
No. I recorded something for this season, and I'm looking back right now, and I'm like, did anything was recorded from May? Maybe me training my dog to animate was that. This one, I think I redid. I recorded in January of 2022. So there was at least one that survived after this big like scrap massacre change of this. This one felt quick though. So yeah, fun little episode. It was a little too quick to make, but at this point I was like, let's go. Come on. I mean, seriously. I was getting anxious at this point. So I apologize for my anxiousness in this season, but hopefully it's still entertaining. Alright. This episode. With this episode, it is Evil Me. Originally, this was going to be me going to a Toon City prop store, but again, I couldn't think of anything funny. But I also noticed I do have another Evil Sergio episode, so I just put that there. And I originally was going to continue the story, but I was like, you know, I haven't really given this character enough of a backstory because how's there so many monsters and creatures in Evil Toon City, but he's like humanoid and stuff? So I thought maybe he wasn't born human. Maybe he really is like a monster, but he just looks the most humanoid. So that was my idea. That character is based on another character from a TV show that I've watched recently at the time. If you know, you know. So for this episode, I just had to give him backstory of what he is. Very short, too short, but you know what? It's just necessary for a little bit of context for this character. Since I was just talking a little bit about who this character is and why is he doing all this, and his purpose. So that's the idea. Now we got to the place and stuff. So this is the shortest episode of the season, but I was like, yeah, it's fine. We have a long one, and I have another one that's gonna be 4 or 5 minutes. But I do like the effect that he was just transforming. Here's another of the shadow effect that I was talking about. Nice cut to. It's supposed to be a dream. I don't know if I executed that. His backstory was remembered in a dream, so you can be caught up and be like, oh, this character has gone through a lot. And he's going to do a lot more in the future. Very simple episode, but I think I got a point across. And I think it was really funny that he was just like this wad of evil thing, of evil mush, coming out of the evil dirt of the evil universe. And I thought that made more sense. I don't want him to have parents or anything. I thought it made sense that he was always screwed over, messed over by the evil universe. And then he just mutated into the character we see now. Good episode. Alright, we're into the season finale. Wow. Alright. So, originally this was going to be a birthday episode, but that ultimately was like 50 episodes ago. No, 60 episodes ago. No, wait. Yeah, 60 episodes ago. With me crossing over with live action self. Or, yeah. But when I rearranged a lot of these episodes, I was like, no, we're going to have to scrap that. And my next original idea was a bottle episode. And it was going to be a bottle episode of bad animation. But, you know, scrap that too. Wasn't into it. Like the poorly drawn one. So, I want to do another Dr. Swirly Chin. And I want to bring up another medical experience. And guess what? It was something that happened a couple years ago. And we're certainly not dealing with it now, right? Chunky, I'm just joking. My dog is trying to object to this. But no, this is a fun episode. Again, like a story kind of animation. There's also a lot of effects to this, like speeding and here where I use a blurry effect to do an animated simulation of what happened to me, but not 100% accurate. But the effect was good. Yeah, that's a good effect. It kind of what happened to me. It was blurry and I passed out. And I try to get the emotions across. Like, yeah, you can tell I was sick. And man, it was a tough time for me. So I ended up just turning that survival story of medicine and germs into experience here and bring back Dr. Swirly Chin. And again, like the society we've been in, I was like, okay, face coverings. You know, I can certainly reflect on today's time or past time. But yeah, no. Also, I got to save time on lip sync. This is probably the biggest time saver. I did this also in like a day or so. No. It took 3 days, almost 3 days to put together. Also, a lot of reuse animation, like me being sick. Look at that. But I still feel like I did a fun job with this one, and this came out pretty well. He's back, Dr. Swirly Chin. I asked people online, what do you think of the character, and people like him. I enjoy this character. Like I said, this character was in development for a while, and I hinted at the character after episode 200. But I'm glad he has a little, I don't want to say fan base, but I'm glad people like it enough I got to make him appear a couple more times.
Gonna help your buddy good.
This season and season 26.
I'm sure it will.
And maybe more in the future. We'll see. We shall see.
I felt the coldness of the vaccine in my body. It was like a little cool.
You know, it's an exaggerated moment in my life that almost ended too early. Some of you kind of saw it when I did the live stream for episode 200 because I end up getting that thing, not knowing that I did, but I got early stages of it. Then a week later, I experienced it really badly. But I'm glad I made it. I got the medicine a couple of times, and I feel great. I feel safer. So, take that what you will.
Well, you guys, I gotta take care of myself so I can take care of my rest of my life from this awful disease. And I hope you can take care of yourselves out there. Anyway, that's all for this episode of the Sergio
Me
Show.
cozy in bed like always.
Thanks for watching. I am Sergio Dominguez saying, have an animated day.
And there we go. That was season 28 of the show. I enjoyed it. It could have been better, but it was a mess. But I'm looking forward to season 29 and 30. I hope you are too. And like I said, crazy, but it's okay. Alright, any questions, comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on social media. And again, thank you very much for listening to this audio commentary of the Sergio Show season 28. Thank you very much for watching. I am Sergio Dominguez saying, have an animated day.